Hello, I'm Ashley Forrest, and I'm the owner of A Force of Potential Consulting and Indigo Energy Holistic Healing, and also Celestial Forest Natural Body and Skincare. Today, I would like to talk about my story and what I went through with having suicidal behaviors because this month, September, is Suicide Awareness Month, and also today is World Suicide Prevention Day. So my story begins when I was 5 years old. I'm hoping that this story can help someone and help others know to look for certain signs and also be an advocate for someone who may be experiencing mental health issues or depression. Um, it is my hope that if you are a person that is suffering from mental health issues or depression, that you are reaching out to get the proper help that you need. If you don't know where to start or where to begin to get help that you need, you can always dial 988. This is a crisis hotline. It's really a suicide crisis lifeline for you to use when you are experiencing issues and need just someone to be there to listen. It will dial to your local hotline or local crisis center in your area. So, again, I didn't know where to begin. I always wanted to be more transparent with my audience, and I was suffering and struggling with being more open on social media with fear of being judged, but none of that matters at this point. I knew that when a certain particular young lady took her life this past week, that it was time for me to share my story. So here we are. Spirit told me to start at the beginning, and the beginning is at 5 when I wanted to take my own life because I no longer wanted to be here. And I'll share with you 3 reasons why I felt like I no longer wanted to be here. Number one, I didn't feel like I was loved. Number two, I didn't feel worthy. And number three, that led to me having lack of confidence. I'm not going to go into details as to how I tried to do it at 5, but it's just really important as parents that we pay attention to signs in our children who may be having signs of anxiety, they may be struggling, or just having some type of depression. I was very shy as a child, and my mom was a single mom. She was a teen mom at that. She did the best that she could with what she knew how to use to raise me. Therefore, I felt like I needed more love and affection. And because of how she was raised, she didn't really know how to display that to me. Uh, Also, I was bullied in school. So I felt like I didn't have anyone to talk to in that manner. And when I would try to talk to my mom, she would say things like, I have a lot of things going on. I have a lot of problems. You're a child. You shouldn't have anything to worry about. Things like that. And that pretty much can be damaging to a child because you feel like what you have to say is not as important. So you silence yourself and you don't share the things that's going on with you. So there's that. The other component is that my biological father was not in my life. The story that I received was that, of course, he was older than my mom. That's number one. He was older than her. She was younger. She was a teen mom. And he was in the military. So he went back on the ship. And when she called to let him know that she had me, they told her that he was stationed somewhere else. So when I heard that, I felt like, okay, well, he knew where my family stayed. He knew what city we were in. If he really wanted me, he would have came back for me. Why didn't he come back for me? Why was I not worth it? And I blamed myself. I was like, well, maybe I'm ugly. That was the main thing. I'm not sure why I picked ugly out of all things. But at 5, you don't really know how to process things. So I picked being ugly. Maybe I'm ugly. So again, that led to low self-esteem, confidence, self-worth, not feeling worthy of love, not receiving love. And yeah, so I blame myself for a lot. It's my fault. And therefore, I didn't want to be around. So one day, or I believe it was nighttime, I attempted to take my life, and I didn't like the way it felt, so I stopped. And how I got through that is I was talking to one of my cousins. A couple of my cousins came over to spend the night at our house, and I let them know what had happened and that I no longer wanted to be here. And they let me know, you cannot do that. You'll go to hell. So that's number one. And number two, we love you. We want you to be around. So that let me know somebody loves me. Number one, I didn't want to go to hell. So it's like, oh, it's a bad place, burns up. I don't want to go there. So I knew that that was not an option anymore, because number one, I never wanted to go to hell. But I also knew that, okay, at least my cousins love me. Even if I don't feel like nobody else loves me, which I did have my grandparents. They definitely showed me love and affection, and that's pretty much how I learned to love, was from them and through them. So very thankful for them. Signs and triggers I can say that I may have presented would have been, I was always quiet, and I was the only child, but I think at some point I started to act out just to get attention from my mother. I got good grades, AP honor roll, straight A's, rotated, and at some point I just started kind of like not doing the best that I could so that I can, get her attention. And I think that's one of the main things. If you have a child that's usually behaves great, and then all of a sudden they just start acting out, something's definitely wrong. So you definitely need to check in with your child. What gave me hope and kept me throughout the years, I would say, is my faith. But it didn't keep the thoughts from coming, because in my early 20s, I was going through another transitional phase, and there was a period where I just felt a lot was on me, and I didn't know how to keep up with everything that was going on. I was comparing myself to my friends. I was in college at the time, and I started a little bit late. And so I took a lot of classes, thinking that if I took all these classes, it'll get me caught up to where I thought I should be, because what society says where you should be in your semesters, and you should graduate in 4 years and all that. But that's absolutely not true. It's based on you and your life and what you have going on. If you can take 4 classes, take 4 classes, 3 classes. If it takes you 6 years, it takes you 6 years. But it took me going through some things myself to understand that I can't base my life on what society says you should be doing. And I got to a bad place, a dark place, and I wanted to take some pills, and I poured them out, and I was looking at them. I had a journal nearby, and I just knew that I couldn't do it, because I kept replaying my cousin telling me when I was 5 I would go to hell if I ever tried to take my life. And so I knew I couldn't do it, but I just, cried it out. I wrote it out, and I got through it. And I continued to push throughout life. Never said that, the thoughts would stop. They didn't. And sometimes they still come up here and there, but I know that I have a purpose. And I think my spiritual journey and my healing journey has definitely helped me now in this phase of my life. But earlier phases of my life, it definitely was faith, and knowing that God won't put more on you than you can bear. That was number one. So I'm like, okay, well, if he's put me through these tests, it's for a reason. And as I continue to go throughout life, I noticed that, okay, I went through that and I got through it. It wasn't as bad. Okay, I can make it through this. And knowing those things continue to get me stronger, to a place where I can be strong and know that, whatever's happening in my life, I can process it. Whatever I can control, I can control. If I can't control it, I can't control it. Nothing's worth taking my life. And anything that we experience, there's always going to be someone else that's going through much worse than you are. And that's something that I still think about to this day. When I think that my situation is messed up, like I'm not where I want to be, or I need this money for that, and how are we going to make this work? There's someone else that be like, oh, that's not so bad. I'll switch patients with you any day. So thinking about that, that helps me continue to move forward. Just do what you can and keep it moving. The bills won't stop. People talking about you won't stop. And another thing, social media has become this place where people can create a reality that they do not live. So if you're a person that compares your life to what you see on social media, please stop. Because a lot of people just post things that is not really their reality. They can post a picture, they can post their own vacation, they can be completely unhappy and miserable. They can be in a marriage and be miserable. They can have a boyfriend that's not the best for them. It's not a healthy relationship. They're in toxic environments, toxic situations, but they're not going to tell you that. They're going to post the great things, the highlights of their life that seems like or appeals that it's great. Everything is grand and luxury and things like that. Don't believe the hype. Not to say that that's everybody's case, but please understand, if you are a person that are looking at a lens and looking at what other people are doing to compare to your own success and where you should be in life, do not do that. Don't do that. Your life is your life. It's precious. There's plenty of people that did not wake up, and you're waking up every day. So as long as you're waking up, you have another day to get it right. You have another day to strive for what you want. Reach the goals you want to reach. Just find the resources. Find people that care about you and that are in your corner. If you have no one, please dial the crisis hotline, and there's someone that would care and will listen to you. So what makes me want to stay alive today, I would say, is knowing that I have a purpose. I think that was a big part of what helped me during my journey. Knowing what my purpose is, why I'm here. I know I'm here to help people. And if I had taken my life at 5, or when I was in my early 20s, or actually even tried to attempt again throughout life, I would have never been in position to help the people that needed me along the way. Everybody serves a purpose here. And I know that I make an impact on people. I know that there are a lot of people that lean on me when they're going through things. And I may have, saved them from something. Who knows? But if I had taken my life back then, I would not have been in a position to be there for those people. And then where would they have been? So I know I'm here to serve people in a way that allows them to heal in their own way. Whatever that is, I know I have special gifts, and I know I do have a purpose. So that's what keeps me going, aside from my family, my husband, my son, that my purpose is here to help people. I'm going to have a legacy one day I'm going to leave behind. I want to see my son grow up. There's nothing that's worth me taking myself out. If I'm no longer to be here, I will not be here. And that's point blank. Like, I don't have to do that. If my number is pulled, it'll be pulled. When my time is up, it will be up. But until then, I will not expire my own time. So, coping with any problems, like I said, I deal with what I can deal with. Whatever I can control, I can control. If I can't, I can't. I will talk to someone when things pile up, if I feel overwhelmed. But what I did notice is that anytime those feelings came up, it was because outside things or people, how somebody made me feel. And it's usually I would feel that I'm not loved, I'm not worthy, and I have lack of confidence in a way that's overwhelming. And I don't have the answers, and I don't know how to get out of the situation. That's when I would feel like, okay, I don't want to be here. Nobody needs me here and things like that. So I learned to not have those type of things influence me. I do have boundaries. I do create my own reality. I do limit who I give my access to. I am not in every environment that's not good for me. I'm trying to keep my frequency high. I'm trying to keep my vibrations high. I'm trying to have great energy. around me, positivity. I have people in my circle that I look up to. I strive to, have the same successes that they have. In no way that I want their life, but they do inspire me. So I do look for people who can be an inspiration to me, to make me strive to want more. And when I'm working towards those things, to want more and want better for myself, I have no room to think about what somebody else is doing or what they're posting, or if somebody comes and try to tear me down or make me feel some type of way. I've built myself up so much, you can't do it. It's not gonna happen. So I know I am very protected spiritually, and usually I don't even have to go there. Like, spirit do it for me. So that's what I'm at right now. My ongoing support system is usually my friend or my best friend, my faith, my journal, journal poetry. That's always been my thing since forever. That helped me a lot. Writing letters that I never mail off or give to somebody, that definitely helped me. I do get spiritual counseling, and if you are a person that feel like you don't have somebody to talk to, and you may not be going through a crisis or something like that, I would highly advise getting a counselor or a therapist that you can talk to every so often, to just get things off your chest, or learn coping mechanisms and techniques to help you get through certain situations. My hope for you, whoever's listening, is that if you're not a person that suffers from depression or mental breakdowns or meltdowns or any type of mental health issues, that you can be a support for somebody out there. And if you're the person that's suffering from that, that you know how to get the resources that you need. And if you don't know where to start, definitely 988 or 988lifeline.org is a great start. I also pin it in the description below. So I am going to share more about the journey with that and dealing with the suicidal behaviors and thoughts over the years, but this was just something that I wanted to share and get out there, because I'm sure a lot of you are probably shocked right now that I experienced something like that, but it's life, and it's something that I'm ready to share. I had to get to this point, and I felt like the time was now. Definitely Spirit told me the time was now. And so here we are. So thank you for listening. Like, share, and subscribe this video. And there will be more parts to how I've overcame these thoughts, and even when they come up, how I continue to deal with them. Because I do have a part about postpartum depression, and I did experience that as well. So thank you again, and take care.